Alright, hello and welcome my fellow retro enthusiasts to the grand launching of the Retrobit Twitch page. I am IceStrike, joined in voice chat by Andy, product and marketing specialist from Retrobit. This is a very fun time that they have decided to include me in this relaunch and to show you all some really cool stuff with Undercover Cops and the Legacy16 wireless and wired SNES-style controllers. So, Andy, say hi to the crowd.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for just being here, honestly. It's been so long since we did a stream, so this is going to be a lot of fun.
So much fun. So, I see a lot of familiar faces in chat already. Thank you all for being here for this. And for everyone that I don't know yet, it's awesome to see you all as well. But purpose of this stream, again, we're going to show off some Undercover Cops gameplay. We're going to show off Legacy16 gameplay on SNES and Switch. And then if you have any questions, Andy, myself, and a bunch of Retrobit moderators in chat are here to answer them. But yeah, so thanks again to Retrobit for letting me be the host for this momentous occasion. And then we also have a big thank you to Pixel Frames for sponsoring this occasion as well. So if you haven't checked out Pixel Frames, they are freaking sweet. Best retro gaming wall decor of all time. But, I mean, when you have something that's this freaking cool for Mega Man X, I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, look at that. Just absolutely gorgeous. You got the 4 different layers of detail here. Foreground, background, 2 mid layers. Like, it is just freaking cool how much these pop. And if Mega Man X isn't really your thing, I'm sure there's some of you out there that are Castlevania fans. So, how about some Symphony of the Night where Death and Alucard are going toe-to-toe here and he just steals all your crap right at the beginning of the game. Rude. Just immortalized. Freaking awesome. I freaking love that frame. That's why I had to show it off here. I didn't want it just to be up on the wall. We needed to show those two specifically. But I don't know. What do we say? Should we dive into showing off some of the production samples here for Undercover Cops and Legacy16?
Do it.
All right, let's do it. All right, give me a second. This is one of the things that I like about this is that I'm getting to show you all my stream style here. So one of it is we have a product cam here that we get to switch to, so just give me a second to get the lighting right. But here we go. Oh, look at that, see? One of the fun things about doing things live, it just gets so angry at you sometimes. Alright, there we go. There we go. It's the great thing about doing it live. So here is the wonderful sample productions of Undercover Cops and the Legacy16 wireless controllers, as well as some of the wired variants. But let's get this lit up a little bit better so you can see what we're talking about here. Here we are. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start with Undercover Cops, because I think that's what a lot of people are really excited to see. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But yes, Undercover Cops. Look at this glorious collector's edition packaging that they are working on right now. So we've got our main heroes here, Zan, Rosa, Matt, and I love the Undercover Cops logo. It's just so 90s to me, and I love that we have the Japanese version of the text up here as well. But this slipcover is so cool. Very glossy. I love the brick aesthetic personally. And then just some fun stuff on the back. And again, this is a production sample, so not everything is finalized as it will be when the retail product launches. And then the slipcover, of course, comes off for us to see the wonderful inside box here. And I love the details here. Everything is glossy. And then it looks like scuffed metal. And then even little details on the side. We got UCC 2043, so Undercover Cops, and it's set in the year 2043. I think that is so cool. And then we've got like metal grating on the top that's super glossy. and then again repeated on the side, and of course, Irem, however you pronounce it. Sorry. And then Retrobit on the bottom. Like, this is just like, even for a production sample, this is going with the typical quality that I've been digging from Retrobit since their Holy Diver releases. I mean, look at this nice thick box. Yes. If you're not used to my style, I like thick boxes. What can I say? And then we've got some extra goodies to show off here. We don't have the full package yet because, again, this is a production sample, so there's going to be a Rosa figurine that we can't show off today, unfortunately, but soon. We'll be able to see it soon. But this is a near final-ish inside SNES-style box that you're expecting to get, I believe. And the European and North American versions of this box are going to have different cover arts, correct, Andy?
I believe we were kind of thinking about that. I believe there might be some changes to that still. They might have both the same art, cover art, but they will differ by
Oh, crap.
the shape of the console itself. That will be mostly the cartridge itself.
Okay, I'm going to need you to repeat that for me because we did not hear you right there. My apologies. That is very interesting. Hold on, let me figure out why that isn't working. It was working earlier. Try it again.
That's one too.
Oh boy. Oh, see, this is another great thing about doing these live streams, guys. Like, things just... Oh, wow, that is so fun. It's just great. This is a great thing about doing it live. Like, we sat here and tested all of this yesterday just to make sure a situation like this wouldn't happen, but here we go. We're still getting to troubleshoot things right here live for you, so just give us one moment. All right, so that is very interesting. Let's let's see here. Okay. Oh, okay. So
How's that?
we have got the desktop audio working again. Just got to change one last setting real quick here. And there we go. Yeah, there we go. So,
Hello?
there we go. We've got you. We are live once again. Sorry about that minor technical inconvenience, everybody. The joys of live streaming. But, yeah, so... from the pictures, it looked like there was a different cover art for the North American and European version of Undercover Cops. Could you repeat what you were telling us about that, Andy?
Yeah, the packaging will pretty much the box will be the same. The only difference would be the cartridge itself, the shape, because obviously the Europeans use the Famicom style cartridge, and so the graphics for that will be a little bit different, as in the graphics as in the drawings that are in the manual and stuff. But other than that, they will be pretty much identical.
Very cool. So yeah, I'm really digging this style of box. I know it's an early production sample, so there are still a few misprints and stuff on it, but like overall, like it's just so cool to see it already. Like I love the screenshot selection here. This is actually some fairly late game screenshots instead of just early level stuff that we normally see.
Mm-hmm.
And then like even the concept arts right here on the side. Like it's just such a pretty box already. But
Yeah, during this phase of production, we're kind of just trying to keep box everything. See, like, where do we have to shave off like micro millimeters? Where we need to add an additional fold to make things fit? How the print style is going to come out? Do we need to add more gloss? Do we need to add some reflective? Uh, you know, make things pop out. And so this is like, I would say probably one of the earlier steps in printing. But as you can see, everything's already coming together.
yeah, it looks like it's coming together really well. And honestly, I think that's one of the coolest things that we get to show off today is just the progress that it's going to be making along the way. Because, I mean, the slip cover is going to see some changes. I imagine the outer box is going to see some changes. This box is going to see some changes. And then, of course, the pack-ins will see some changes.
Yeah, as you've seen with what we've done with the toe plan as well, a previous release, uh, we'll make the boxes a little bit tighter. As right now, the slip cover is a little bit loose, but it's just, again, this is all the stuff that we notice. These are the production samples, so we make changes as we see fit, and yeah, hopefully the finalized product everyone will love.
Yeah, it looks like it's coming together really well. I mean, look at this SNES style cartridge as well, like fire orange here going on. So if you had a fire orange N64, you kind of know the color that you can expect out of this cartridge. At least for this production sample, like it looks so sick.
It looks very orange on your screen. I think in person it's a little bit kind of reddish orange. And the other additional thing, I think, no, I know that we're going to change the color of the PCB board inside, so that's going to be kind of to match the cartridge shell, similar to what we did with Toplan. Each cartridge had its own matching PCB board color.
Yeah, so for those of you unfamiliar with the inner workings, that's the actual circuit board that's inside the cart. So that's going to be changed to an orangish color to match the cartridge.
Mutant, as we called it.
Mutant, I like it. But yeah, look at this. We got this crazy chicken back here for the back label.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got the awesome art that we saw on the back of the box right here for the label here as well. So I like, even for a production sample, like this is coming together so well, and glad we get to share that off today. Like when you guys see this again, it's gonna have the orange inner workings and everything.
Yes, indeed.
But we do get to show off a couple of the packings that will come with the collector's edition today, including a wonderful little sticker set here.
Yep.
So
Again, all of these are not finalized, but as you can see, like we got some cool scenes from both the SNES and the arcade.
oh yeah, that's cool. And then we also have the production sample of the certificate of authenticity you can expect to get here. And this is really cool. Like the edges are silver glossed.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, just sticking with the Retrobit theme, everything is themed according to the game that it comes with. So if you've picked up the Toplan Collection, Metal Storm, you know what to expect out of this type of stuff. And again, it's thicker cardstock, so it's a very premium feel to it. And look at that.
And one last thing about the certificate, even though it says out of 2,500, there's not going to be 2,500 made. That's just a placeholder. We're going to make the amount that people order. So it's an open pre-order right now. So get yours in.
So what we're saying is make this number bigger than 2,500. And then I believe that's all we have right now. There's also going to be character profile sheets that come included in here. And then, of course, one of the fun little packings, we also have the Rooster Keychain here. So one of the items that you can get to heal yourself, the Rooster heals you, correct?
Yeah, I think pretty much all the animals will heal you, and I believe the chicken is the one that will heal you pretty much close to max.
And one of the neat things about this is it is reversible. So the logo is done in such a way that it is completely reversible, which I just absolutely love. And lastly, we do have a production sample of the instruction booklet that we are going to get with the game. And I have to say, you guys really stepped it up with the instruction booklets since the release of R-Type and Holy Diver. Like, Metal Storms was really cool, and then the Toplan ones are just so top-notch. And so seeing that continue with the Undercover Cops manual is just super cool to me. And I'm sure others out there that love retro stuff are excited about that as well. And I mean, we've got contents, we've got awesome concept arts, like, and then instructions on how to do it with actual SNES type controllers and platforms. So that will be changed for the European release to reflect a Super Famicom.
Yes. Well, Super Famicom style SNES, yes.
Yeah.
Difficult to, I guess, SNES PAL.
Yeah. And then, of course, all the screenshots included within are full color, so no black and white, no skimping on it. Like, it just feels really premium to not have to have a black and white manual.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we've got story And then we also get wonderful little bios about all the characters, and that's probably something I miss most about old instruction booklets, is just getting all this extra detail that couldn't fit into the game originally. And then also move sets, which I'm going to be using during today's stream, by the way, because I have the memory of a goldfish and cannot remember them. But that is for every character. So Rosa, Matt, Zan, like, they're all here. And then we've got items, weapons, stages, hints and tips. It's useful stuff, actually, in the hints and tips section. Read it. And then the whole thing is repeated once again in Japanese. Is there any other languages planned for the manual for European release?
At the moment, no. It's going to be English and Japanese. We might look into that further, but at the moment, this is what everyone's going to get.
Nice. Imagine that will work out pretty well in the beginning.
Yeah, and then to answer a few questions that I've been seeing on the chat, do not use the gray color for the cards. This is more to do with us kind of paying tribute to the game itself, and also to make the collection feel special. That's why we use the colored cards, and it's actually very popular with a lot of people. Actually, they prefer it, so we decided to continue with it, and it's been paying off. People's collections, they like the bright colored cartridges. They like that it matches the gameplay. And the other question I saw pop up was regarding if it's going to be in production afterwards. No, just like our other releases, they're all limited. So we do, for this one, it's going to be an open pre-order. It'll end pretty soon, and then after that, it's just people get their collections, and that's it.
So make sure to get in on the open pre-order period while it is still up. I believe those end on the 12th, the end of this week, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so open pre-order until the 12th. The standard edition goes for $54.99. Collector's edition is $69.99. But let's say we move on to seeing the Legacy16 production samples. Gonna start with the wired ones just because they're not in boxes. And the wired ones are USB only, correct?
Yes, the USB only for wired for now.
Alright, let me go ahead and adjust the lighting a little bit so we can see the contrast on this gray and white one here, because I think, like, when they first announced that they were doing one that was just gray and white, I honestly had some, I was pretty reserved about it. I wasn't sure how it would turn out, but this is ridiculously clean. Like, it's got such a great contrast in it, even though it is just gray and white. Like, it looks really clean and nice. And so this is designed primarily for the Switch, so not only do we have the standard SNES face buttons and D-pad, we got a home button, screenshot button, and then a ZR and ZL button here on top of the regular R and L buttons, so that way you can use it in the SNES app without any issues. How will the D-pad be is the most asked question. The D-pad is fantastic from the amount of time I've been able to put into testing it, just from my own personal experience. It's working out very well, and I can roll it, which makes me happy for fighting games. But comes with a 10-foot cord, so you shouldn't really have too much issues getting this plugged into most setups, unless you sit about 30 feet away from your screen, in which case I am jealous of the size of your TV. But very clean, and these are near final production samples, from what I've been told, correct?
Yes, near final, I believe, is just a matter of packaging for the wired version. And yeah, that's final firmware. Everything's good to go. It's just about.
Very cool. So this is, again, the gray and white one. What's the name for this one again? The official name?
Classic gray.
Classic gray? Okay. Yeah. Very cool controller. I'm just blown away by how clean it looks. And then if you like to have, like, darker set accessories, we've got the Onyx controller here as well. So same form factor, same extra buttons, but of course, just a pure Onyx color scheme, and it just looks very clean again. Like, that's the thing about these two controllers. They just look very clean to me. And then a little extra notice to detail here. It's following the American SNES style buttons. So B and A are convex and X and Y are concave.
Yes.
So very cool little attention to detail there for fans of the Super Nintendo to enjoy. And then we've also got B, A, Y, and X done in the original Famicom color scheme there.
Yep.
But yes, we're going to show off some gameplay of the wired Legacy 16 in just a moment. But we can go ahead and dive into the wireless versions, because I think this is what a lot of people are really interested in seeing, because who isn't just absolutely enjoying having really good quality wireless controllers for these retro systems these days? It's kind of a unanimous question, but anyway, so the wireless versions are using the 2.4 gigahertz wireless transmission, so latency should not be an issue. From the amount of time I've spent testing one of these, I have not been able to notice a difference between it or my wired SNES controller. I'm still able to perform challenge runs in Mega Man X without any issues, whereas like on Switch version, I actually have trouble with those because the extra latency in that version of the game. So, I mean, just from an initial standpoint, like, I am absolutely loving the way that the Legacy 16 is handling. If you use Bluetooth receivers for the SNES, you will notice a difference. I will say that. So, it's very cool. Again, these are just early production samples, so this box is not finalized. Imagine we'll see a little bit more glossiness along this one, but still really cool to see how it is turning out as the progress goes along. And there will be shelf tags here for you retail owners. But in similar style to Retrobit's Sega releases, these are going to come with a console plug and a USB receiver, so you can use them on a multitude of different devices, which is just fantastic. And then a little shot of the back here. Again, none of this is finalized, so it will change before you get your hands on it. But let's go ahead and dive in. Let's go ahead and show off what comes inside this one. So the main difference between the wired and wireless version is the thumbsticks. We have dual analog sticks here that we are going to be able to use on Switch and PC. And they include thumbstick clicks, so you don't have to worry about missing out on any controls. And again, this is the classic gray, so it is a very clean looking controller. Like, it's crazy. And then there is also an extra set of shoulder buttons here to use ZR and ZL. And if you decide to use this on a Super Nintendo, LR, ZR, and ZL mirror each other, so you can use either one to play games. And it's really funny. I find myself switching off between these quite frequently during gameplay. And then same thing with the analog stick here. The left analog stick, rather, mirrors the D-pad. So if you're playing like a racing game, you can use the analog stick rather than the D-pad. And even though it's mirroring D-pad input, it does feel better to use it during racing games, in my opinion. To each their own on that one, though. So you guys can be the judge when you pick this up yourself.
Yep. I'm trying to think of other racing games besides Mario Kart at the moment, and I'm kind of blanking out.
F-Zero!
And F-Zero.
But again, these controllers do charge with USB-C, so they are very convenient to fit into your modern setup. Most people seem to be ditching micro USB, but you can use USB-C on this guy. And again, we have the SNES receiver here, so SNES plug, indicator light to let you know when it is, and a sync button, so you can hold this down, it'll start pairing, you press start on the controller and it will pair it to it. And then the receiver is upgradable. This one does use micro USB, so you will need to supply a micro USB cable to update the SNES firmware, the receiver firmware. But the controller again uses USB-C, which will be included in the final packaging. This production sample didn't have a USB-C cable for me to show you, but that's okay. And then, of course, the normal USB receiver here to use it on Switch or PC. Are these ones going to work with PS3 as well, like the Sega ones did, or is that not
At
really
the moment,
good?
they kind of do, and they kind of don't work. During our testing, it just the firmware on it is more recent, so it's more polished for the PC Mac switch. But we're still looking into it. We kind of want to, make it compatible as much as we can.
Very cool. And another thing I believe you guys have said you had planned, you want to make these receivers compatible with all of your 2.4 gigahertz lineup?
Yeah, that's a mission of ours down the line. For the time being, the Sega controllers will not be fully compatible with the updated USB receivers, but we are eventually going to release a firmware that upgrades the Sega controllers to work with these.
I'm honestly really looking forward to that because I'm already imagining my all-in-one retro setup just getting such a massive boost from that. And then let's go ahead and show off the Onyx one as well because I just love the way these controllers look. They just are so clean. Like, I mean, look at that. Like, it's so good. I kind of have to use the light to kind of give us more of the finer detail because then it just kind of blends in. But I just am digging this. And it's in the form factor of an original Super Nintendo controller, just a little bit different designs along the way. But, I mean, like, overall thickness and, like, even the beveling here. Oh, just let me smack the camera for y'all. Sorry about that. But it's a very authentic feeling style controller while maintaining its own identity, which is something I really appreciate. Like, I love it when a replacement can be so close to what the feel of the original was like. I mean, obviously we have these extra shoulder buttons, but well, and thumbsticks, but hey, they're not intruding on the overall design. Like, that's one thing I really like about this design over some others of similar design. The thumbsticks really kind of got in the way of the D-pad and the buttons on some of them. But that's not the case here. Like, they're there, they're usable, but they're not obtrusive. But yeah, it's just such a pretty controller, and I cannot wait to see the final production run of these, just to see if what really changes. I know these are near final, but I mean, there's always something that can change.
Yeah, there might be a few things to add. I know the packaging clearly, but we should have these ready by springtime, I believe.
Very cool. And then just for all of those of you out there curious, these have green LED indicator lights here. And it just looks really clean. It's got the 4 LED lights as a Switch controller, so it shows you very clearly what you have. And then there's also a couple of macros here that are available on the PC side. One of which is to change the controller from direct input mode, which is used on the Switch, to X input mode. So if you hold Start and B, you will see that the controller will change to X input mode, and it has 2 indicator lights to notate the change here. So this is what you would use as your mode on like Steam and modern PC gaming. Direct input mode is good for classic games, so if you're playing older games like from GOG or GOG, however you pronounce it, who knows, who could keep up these days, that's when you would use the direct input mode. Or if you're crazy like me and want to use it on Windows 98, direct input mode is a freaking lifesaver. But
Mega Man X.
dude, DOS version of Mega Man X, barf.
That's true. Bikate as well, and some other programs that use it.
Yes, exactly. So the great thing is having that option, and I'm glad that the macro takes a little bit longer to activate than on the initial launch of some other controllers, just because you don't accidentally end up pressing it. So very good. I have not accidentally triggered that in any way, so that personally makes me happy. And something I honestly look for when I test these types of controllers now is like, are these macros going to interfere with any normal gameplay? And so far the answer has been no. When they get fully retail release, I'm going to definitely run them into the ground to find out further. But I think we need to show off some gameplay now. We've talked about it for quite a bit now, so why don't we dive into some actual gameplay on these guys? So let me...
Time for smacking.
Time for some smacking, exactly. And I believe Andy is going to share some of the history of Undercover Cops for us as we get started here. So let me go ahead and pop in our beautifully orange cartridge here into my wonderful Super Nintendo right there, and it goes in like a dream. That is one thing I didn't highlight. Proper bevels on the PCB. It inserts perfectly. And let's see here. We're going to be using our classic gray controller here for this. And let there be light. Maybe. It will decide if it wants to. Huh? Huh?
Super Nintendo, please.
OSSC, please. Let's go. There it goes. Just gotta give it a second sometimes. But yes, one of the highlights of this re-release is, of course, that it is getting an official translation here. So this intro, let's reset it real quick since the video has finally popped up. That way we can actually see the full intro here. Maybe. There we go. So this intro has been fully translated from Japanese for this release. And we're just gonna enjoy it. Oh man. So how difficult was it to get this game translated? Or any of the translation you guys do, to be honest?
We have some partners of ours who are really good at translating games. Like we have done so with our past releases. We did it with Metal Storm, we did it with Holy Diver, and we've done it with Toplan. It's actually not too difficult in getting the translations. It's difficult in the sense that we, making sure that it doesn't disrupt the gameplay. We have to test that, our coders actually translated everything and didn't accidentally delete a hex code or something that might have glitched it.
Oh man.
Luckily, the team is very talented. This hasn't happened before, so yeah, the process is pretty simple for us and our team. So it's just a matter of just testing, making sure everything's okay.
Well, that's really cool to know. Again, just things that a lot of people might not know really goes into these types of re-releases that I think is really cool to see inside. And translation's one of them. I mean, like, translating it, making sure that the type font fits within the same space that the original Japanese font was in, and obviously the Japanese font takes up a lot less space in numerous things. That's why it's such a popular thing among speedrunners to use Japanese versions of games. So just that type of work fascinates me personally. But yeah, so this intro is showing off little snippets about the main characters that you can play as, their bios, as well as clips of gameplay, just so you can see types, some of their special moves and stuff, which is, I think it's pretty cool.
You also get to see the chicken in action.
Yep, look at that. Look at that crazy chicken right there. He's just walking on air. Matt's special is crazy.
Yeah, each fighter has their own, like, style. They're actually quite distinct when you actually look into them. And Matt's pretty much the hard hitter, grappler kind of guy. He's very popular, I believe, with the speedrunners too, because he can deal really good damage really quick.
Yeah, now that you mention that, when I've been watching some speedruns of this game, it does seem like most people play as Matt. Look at that. Weight and stuff classified. You can't ask a lady her weight. Come on now. But that is true. Each character does feel very unique as you play through them, and that is something that I discovered quickly upon first booting this game. I started my first playthrough as Rosa, and then moving on to Zan and Matt, it was like, they do play differently. They're similar, but different.
Yeah, with Zan, you get, his agility. He's very air attack driven. So a lot of his finishers will actually end with him in the air. With Matt, obviously, he's a grappler. Matt cannot dash. Instead, he runs, given to his little football nature.
Mm-hmm.
And with Rosa, she doesn't do too much upfront damage, but she can combo into her throws very easily, and then her throws will launch like character enemies like clear across the stage, knocking down other people. So she's pretty good in that sense.
Yeah, I will say Rosa's probably one of the easier characters to start with, for at least for me personally. She was. Of course, everyone's gonna have different preferences on that front, but I think she was pretty good to play as. So one of the things I do recommend people do when they pick up this game, go into your options menu and turn on the extra button for L. This lets you map a dash to the L button instead of having to double tap the D-pad. Just one of those little quality of life hacks that I definitely recommend checking out. And we're going to raise our lives up a bit here just in case stream curse happens and we die unexpectedly.
So true.
But let's dive in. We'll show off some actual gameplay here, and we are going to start with Zan. And I forgot to leave the instruction booklet out so I could see his moves, so I'm just gonna pull that out real quick again. Because again, I have the memory of a goldfish when it comes to specials. This is why I only play Ryu and Street Fighter, because I actually know his.
Speaking of Ryu, his super attack is actually a fireball motion in the air.
Yeah, that's cool. So, not very many buttons you need to use in this game. You've got your punch, and then you've got your jump, and then A is mapped to a special. Otherwise, you could use B and Y to do the special as well. And like most old school beat 'em ups, your special doesn't take off life until you actually hit somebody. So it's one of those types of high risk, high rewards types of moves. So if you have a very powerful opponent, you know you're going to take a lot of damage anyway, might as well hit them with your special so that way you can just take them out quicker. But that was Zan's super move right there. Then of course we got environmental things that we could pull out of the ground and just come here and whack some baddies with. And then anyone notice what's on that TV down there? Got some R-Type action, also produced by Irem.
Yeah, they like to sneak R-Type into many of their titles. It's in the background of Metal Stone as well. Gosh, I can't even remember the other game I saw it before, but yeah, they pay tribute to R-Type all the time.
So one of the fun things about the combat system in this game to me is how grabs work. They're very interesting. Like normally you have to do some sort of button press on brawlers to grab people, but in this game it's literally just get up in their business and you will automatically grab them, and it's really pretty convenient. It's a fun quality of life thing.
Yeah, in the harder stages or even in the harder difficulties, they will swarm you really quick. It actually increases their speed, walk speed. So having to be able to just grapple them immediately is very useful. And the game actually prefers that you utilize the throws and grapples if you want to get really deep into the harder difficulties.
Yeah. And this game is really tough actually. When you first start playing it, it trounces you for a bit. Alright, come back on screen. We need to throw you guys. There we go. And, I mean, how about throwing trout at people's faces? That's always a good time.
Yeah, I think they're just like frozen tuna or something like that.
And here we are at the first boss fight.
Yeah, with Parks, he doesn't take any damage until he changes his form. It's kind of, well, actually no, right before he changes form, he takes damage.
Yeah.
And that's when you know that it's time for the trash compressor.
We'll just use a super on him. So, even though this game only has 2 different buttons, there's a really absurd amount of moves that are in here. Like, you've got the dash kicks, you got dash jump kicks, like the jumping knees, like, it's crazy. Can anyone guess what we need to do here?
Well, he knows what to do.
I love it.
That's the end of Parks.
That is the end of Parks. And just for everyone's information, if you type !giveaway into chat right now, you have a chance to enter to win a copy of Undercover Cops or a Legacy 16. And that is going to be running for the next 24 hours, so that way our friends over in Europe have a chance to get entered into it as well.
Yep, just go ahead and click that link that pops up and just get in.
Anyway, let's go ahead and show off some Matt gameplay real quick here. Just got to make sure the OSSC is cooperating with us. And the nice thing, when you reset this game, it does store your settings, so I don't have to come in here every time to do it. I came in here this time to show it, though, so we'll skip it next time. But yes, let's show off Matt. And I have to say, Matt has a really fun play style. Like, he's so big, like, it's so good. Let's see here. What was Matt's special real quick? This is where I go to my handy dandy instruction booklet.
Down up in midair?
I think so. There we go. So he also has such an interesting combo moveset with his throws and his normal moves. So like he has a certain type of attack set just by pressing Y. So if you just press Y, he does these headbutts and tosses. But if you hold down and then press Y, he decides to punt them across the screen and just absolutely devastates everybody, and it's so cool. And again, he doesn't have a dash. He's got the football charge going on. And then you can also just break their necks right there. I'm assuming that's what he's doing.
Oh, it's like he's like face ripping them or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah,
there's a cool thing you could do with these poles when you have them near broken, because as you use them, they break. So if you dash and press Y, you'll actually throw it at somebody, which is just really fun to me. But let's look at that touchdown. All right. Let's go ahead and try out one of his specials here once we've used up this pole.
Chicken.
We're going to let the chicken run around on screen with us, just in case we take quite a bit of damage from using the special. That's the thing, if you don't pick up the items, they will follow you along the screen, which is pretty convenient, especially in later stages. You start taking so much damage, like, it's insane. I guess the chicken only sticks around for a couple screens, but it's still an opportunity to save the heal for when it will be more opportune for you. Alright. Alright, what is this special? Let's see here. B, down, up, Y. Alright, here we go. So, B, down, up, Y. So he just goes off right there. That's... Whew, that takes so much damage off of you, though.
Yeah, all the super moves take like 30 of your health, 30% of your health.
Alright, good thing we have a little pig there that could heal us.
And you're almost full.
And we'll just take his face off again. Let's go. So Matt, again, has some aerial moves, jump aerial moves. But, man, his field goal kick move is seriously overpowered. It's amazing. So we're just going to throw these I-beams into our friends here. Oh, off-screen punch. Disgusting. So each of the bosses has a very unique style to them. And one of the easiest ways to kill some of the earlier stage bosses is to knock them down and then grab them as they stand up. But of course, bosses have recovery moves to prevent such exploitation, which is really fun. See right there, he just got me when I tried to frog splash him. And there we go, he actually got me. That's what I get for trying to show off. Oh, so that's one of the cool things about this fight. He will actually try to drop you into this one-hit kill area, and I lucked out that he didn't get me. Again, I'm not very good with Matt. He's probably my weakest character, personally. But let's go ahead and clear this up a little bit. There we go. Alright, he's gonna get out. Yep. Couldn't keep comboing him in time. Alright, so... He totally knows what's up. Oh, nope, and there he goes. He's out. So, I mean, if you can't get the one-hit kill move, like, I'm just really terrible with Matt, apparently. But you could always just take out their life bar in a standard brawl as such. So, a lot of different ways to approach these fights. If you want to just go outright destruction, or savor the beatdown a bit.
He does not want to stay.
He does not, but that's okay. We'll just beat him up the old-fashioned way here with a special. Can't make them all quick. That's not fun, is it?
Well, he is a robot.
He is a robot. It's true. All right, but let's go ahead and show off some of the Rosa gameplay, and we're gonna take Rosa a little bit further. We'll go through to the end of level 2 with Rosa, and level 2 is where the game really starts to show its difficulty. Like, level 1 is a great introduction here, and then level 2 just decides to smack you in the face for it. So it's pretty fun. So fans of difficult brawlers are going to be fond of this game.
Yeah, if you ever played, if you were lucky to play this in the arcade, you'll notice that the stages are a little bit less crowded, and a little bit smaller. They had to make some sacrifices bringing this to the SNES. You don't have multiplayer. You don't have too many enemies on the screen at any time. I think once you get to like 3 enemies on the screen, the game kind of just like waits for someone to die before it just does more.
Yeah.
Kind of what happened with Final Fight though, like. They removed the multiplayer, they made the stages smaller, made the characters have more life so they last longer. So it's similar fashion to what Capcom did there, but in this game it's such a unique setting. You got, you know, post-apocalyptic future. You got these air quotes undercover cops, which are not really undercover. It's just the name of the program that they're in, the City Sweeper program. And so they're out here trying to clear the streets for what remains of New York, and yeah, trying to bring peace where there is not, and especially with the whole idea being that they're trying to prevent another nuclear bomb going off by one Dr. Croydon, who's also a mutant. Because with all the radiation going around, people are mutating. People are trying to take in cybernetic upgrades. And as with Parks, sometimes they're just full-on cyborgs.
There we go. And I misspoke on how to throw those pillars earlier. I said you did a dash throw. It's actually just using the special button, so A. So you cannot dash while you're using that. But yeah, Rosa's...
It lets you throw them once it's like about to run out.
Yeah. But yeah, Rosa has one of the funnest fight styles to me. So, I mean, oh. Rude.
Oh yeah, don't jump on the back guy. He will always shoot you in the air, no matter what.
Yes, it's true. But yeah, these biker dudes are very opportunist. They wait until you're engaged with another person to come and attack you.
Yeah.
Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Let's end this a little bit quicker here. That way we could just throw some tuna at people, pick up some escargot there. And, I mean, honestly, who doesn't love just throwing a giant fish at somebody? Alright, what is... So her normal special is that fun little spin kick there. But yeah, Parks is... I don't know, Parks is such a fun fight. Like, I just love the way this fight ends. Oop. Let's just take a nice beating from him, that's fine. Waste some of our health to get him to the next stage quicker. Oops. See, that's what I mean by high risk, high reward right there. I wasted all of my health getting him to that part. Just so we can get that fun kill.
There you go. And you got his buddy, too.
I did get his buddy, too. But yeah, let's go ahead and show off level 2 with Rosa now. And the assessment screen here is really cool. We have a target score to hit here in the bottom middle-ish, right above the final money ticker here. And if you get above that, it actually heals your life bar, or gives you more continues to keep playing. But since I just got myself killed, I was already at full health, so we didn't get to see it heal me, unfortunately. Level 2, the Bloodthirsty Goddesses. And this is where the game really starts showing its brutality. And I'm saying that having died twice in the prior level off of dumb mistakes. Like, this game can be quite intense. And then we also get fun things to mess with, like throwing torches to light these guys on fire. Unfortunately, we do start to see some of that SNES hardware lag come into play here because there's so many sprites on screen at once.
Yeah. That's her Frankensteiner move, which is very powerful.
Just the amount of things you could throw at people is so fun. Just like, pick up this barrel, just throw them down, pick up a torch, light them on fire. So much fun. And, like, even though you feel overpowered, the game punishes you for it at different parts, too. Like, again, there's just so many powerful enemies that you end up fighting. Like, these guys with the baseball bats are super brutal, super hurtful, honestly. Like, they just absolutely destroy you.
Yeah, you'll be finding them, like, they like to kind of stay on the corners of the screen, too, which is very annoying.
It's super annoying because one of the easiest ways to play this game is to constantly use dash attacks to keep knocking him down. But since he goes off screen, you can't throw him after you knock him down. Like, oh, see these foxes here, that's what they're called, I believe, are super brutal with their kicks. Like, they hit you from very far away.
Yeah, they bend down and kick you from the back, or from their back over.
Yeah, so
very, very weird. But it means that you can't just like walk up to them and hit them all the time because you gotta be careful with your approaches. And that's one of the reasons why I've always loved the strategy of just, if you're able to, you can kind of corner lock them a little bit here and just keep them in the corner. It takes a little bit longer, but it's a way to play it a little bit safer as you learned how to play the game. Oh yeah, they also have a dodge attack. Sometimes they'll just bend down. They won't take any damage. It's kind of annoying.
But we're also going to be introduced to another enemy type at the end of this elevator, and my goodness if they aren't brutal sometimes. Alright, so he should be appearing after maybe 1 or 2 more enemies? Make that 3. But yeah, so the corner lock is really useful there. Using your specials is effective. I'm not using it right now just because I'm already so low on life. But yeah, there we go. So, example of using that dash attack ability to keep them down. That way we can beat them up a little bit easier. And there we go. When you get them all gathered together, it's a nice, convenient way that we can take out a lot of them at once. And here he is. So this guy likes to fly in with quick attacks. Oh, he's being nice to me, actually. There he goes. He comes in with these quick attacks off screen sometimes, and you can't see where they're coming from. So he could be a real challenge.
Yeah. I think the only tip I can give you is to just use air attacks as he's dashing in.
Yeah. So I wasted a couple of special moves on him, so I took a lot of damage fighting him right here. Just to try to get past him a little bit quicker. It obviously didn't pay off in my benefit there, so again, high risk, high reward, and I think it's a pretty good balancing mechanic for how powerful these moves can be. And this part of the level is really cool, actually. You can take advantage of this fact that this ground is disappearing and just toss enemies right off. So unfortunately, they're all on that side, so I need to kind of get them separated here, and we can just toss them right off.
Yeah, just don't forget they can do the same to you.
They can do the same to you, it's true. You also don't get as much points for doing this, so it's kind of a... You can end it quicker, but you also lose out on the benefits of actually having killed them. And I just put myself into a one-hit position here. Which is fine. That's when we could just start cheap-shotting them as best we can.
Here's where all the pro gamer moves come out.
But, yeah, there we go. So, you could set yourself to have 3 or 5 continues. I'm glad we could show that off a little bit. I have no shame in being bad at this game. It is a hard game. And then we got all these little chicks running around that we could pick up and heal ourselves with as we progress further. But level 2 is actually a bit longer than level 1 was as well. And that's something that I noticed playing through this game. The levels do get longer as we continue along.
Yeah, if you definitely do not use stage 1 as a measuring stick for the game, because it's stage 2, 3, and 4 are very long.
Yes. And that pull was just as convenient as they come to take out that much of the hard-hitting enemies right there. Alright, so when this guy drops down right now, we're just going to throw a pull at his face. One hit kill him. Remember how he just trounced us a second ago? There we go. That's his just revenge. Alright, and now it is time for my personal hardest boss, old Francois here. She is a brutal one. So, you really gotta use tosses to get her, which can be really hard because when you get close, she attacks you with that big cannon thing that she's got there. Like, jackhammer, rather, I guess?
Jackhammer.
Oh, and you need to grab these motorcycles when they fall down, because if you throw those into her, they actually do a ton more damage. But yeah, so, I mean, she is brutal. We've already hit her a couple times, and we've barely done that much damage. Like, it's crazy how insane she is. I mean to throw the enemies into her. Oh, I'm not getting to the motorcycles quick enough. So yeah, that's the thing. When you approach her, she will just beat you down for it. So you gotta make sure you're just on a different layer than her to really pull it off. But there we go. Now we're starting to get her. After you get past that initial phase where they aren't taking as much damage, it's you can really start punishing them. I thought I had her that time.
Yeah, once she gets like down to half health, she goes into a different state.
Yeah, she goes crazy. So yeah, really tough fight, and I'm jealous of speedrunners that can beat her so easily. I'm not quite there yet. There we go, she's on her second phase now where she just starts crying about stuff.
I believe she does her jackhammer a lot more often.
Yeah, she hits you way quicker when you approach her. Like, it's really hard to get closer to her to do the proper attacks that you want to do. So it's a cool mid-boss fight change, and again, this isn't something we really saw with Parks other than the fact that he turned into a cyborg and tried to throw us in the compactor. Like, he didn't really change pattern a whole lot. But yeah, see, she's brutal.
It's a brutal fight.
It is a very brutal fight. You wouldn't imagine that I've played this game through to completion near 15, 20 times at this point with how she is treating me right now.
Oh yeah. She will eat your continues for sure. I can't imagine how difficult it would be in the arcade.
Oh, the arcade would be a quarter eater for sure.
Well, now you can arc save her.
Yeah, it's true. Let's just let's end this quickly. Come on screen. Come on screen. There we go. And done. There's actually some after boss fight Easter eggs on some of the later levels too, so be sure to look out for those when you play through this yourself. I'm not going to spoil them here for you.
KO.
KO. But yeah, so I got a we need to hit a score of 310,000 to start getting life back. So let's see if we hit that, and we can see if our life will get restored here. Oh, there we go. We got it. All right, so we actually got an extra life and a heal for that one. Let's go.
Nice.
But yes, I believe that is all I am allowed to be showing off for Undercover Cops at the moment. So let's go ahead and dive into some other Super Nintendo games. I was going to show you guys a little bit Mega Man X2, just because it is a game I have played so much that it is my measuring stick when it comes to controllers and their inputs. If it doesn't behave the way it's supposed to, I can immediately recognize it. And it doesn't help that I'm trying to put the cartridge in backwards. That is not going to be a good thing there for us. Let me get that turned on here. And we'll get the video back up momentarily. The rest is definitely being kept undercover for the time being.
Well, we don't want to be just all Undercover Cops. There's, a lot of SNES classics to play with the Legacy16.
So many. So many. There we go. And here we are, classic Mega Man X2. Just fantastic game if you've never played it. Just so good. But again, it is my go-to when testing, especially wireless controllers. And unfortunately, we do have to watch Green Biker Dude die. Rip Green Biker Dude.
He lived just like he died.
In 10 seconds. But yes, we'll show off a little bit of Mega Man X2. And if you guys have some games you want to see, put them in chat, and we'll see if we can show a couple of those off as well. Before moving on to Switch games.
Or if they want to see that in the SNES collection, if it's on the Switch as well.
That's true. Flawless execution, except for that jump. We won't talk about that jump. Now we're just gonna... We lost our perfect anyway, so let's just run into everything we see. Forget it.
It's okay to do that as long as you call it a damage boost.
Yeah, there we go, damage boost. Honestly, I've played this game so much, I don't know why I haven't tried to learn the speedrun of it, but... I mean, I could beat this game in about an hour and 20 minutes, just Buster only.
Do you value your index finger?
I do value my thumb, which is one of the reasons why I know I haven't done it, because I cannot button mash as much as I used to. Sadly. Alright, so he does his attack there, and then we just shoot him in the face. Need a physical copy of this, you run X like a champ. Let's go. I approve so much. But yeah, other than messing up that one button press right there in the middle, like, as you can see, we are able to do all of the proper dash shots to get past all of the little droppers before they go down, which is a lot harder than it actually sounds if you are not really familiar with the game.
Wire sponge.
Wire sponge. So, We have a fun habit of naming a lot of the people in this game after SpongeBob characters, just because we've got Wire Sponge, who is Dark SpongeBob. Then there's Bubble Crab, who's obviously Mr. Krabs, whose money lust has gone to the extreme and he's literally turned evil. I believe we called Flamestag Sandy at one point.
Oh, gosh.
I can't remember who Larry was. We had a Larry too. It might have been one of the X hunters. But yes, when you play this game long enough just to run through the whole thing, you know you need to like do something different with it, and that's why I started adopting Buster-only runs of these games.
So many categories for it now.
Oh, there's so many. It's great. And then, of course, there's the no upgrade challenge runs, which are super tough. I haven't tried that with X2 yet, just because I'm not as familiar with it. But I believe when I was doing the Saturn controller reviews for the Bluetooth versions, I was using those on the Super Nintendo and did a no upgrade run of X1 with them, which was a lot of fun. Well, we already lost our perfect to him. Good times. So for those of you unfamiliar with the mechanics of Mega Man X, you have your normal shot, and then you have this level 2 shot. So if you dash while doing those, it actually does double the damage against enemies. So if you can get a boss fight and you could just abuse him with the dash shots like this, you'll do a lot more damage to him than if you fully charge the shots.
I believe that's good on Flamestag if you start with him, right?
It's good on Flamestag. Flamestag can be a bit tough, just because he likes to charge you a lot. So it's funny, if you go underneath him, he actually gets kind of annoyed and drops down to turn around. I let him hit me a lot, but whatever. It got it through quicker. I want to show off a couple levels of this before moving on to another game to show off the wireless Legacy16 for all of you.
Nice.
So, actually, the order I like to do is Wire Sponge first, then Flamestag, and then Will Gator, which is actually the weakness of Wire... Like, he's weak to Wire Sponge's weapon, rather. This order just lets you go after X Hunters a little bit more conveniently. Though it can be a bit challenging on Overdrive Ostrich. You are forced to do Overdrive Ostrich Buster only with the path I like to take. But since I play this game Buster only most of the time anyway, it doesn't really affect me too much, which is why it works out for me. Really? Beetle? Really? Really? We're gonna do that? We're just gonna show off some scrub moments there for everybody? That's fine. It's fine. I haven't beaten this game 170 times. It's fine. Another big quality of life improvement for X2 was they made it so you just hold dash and you can wall dash jump instead of having to do both at the same time like on X1. Which is really good because this climb actually, there's a climb up ahead rather, that requires a wall dash jump for it to work. And that was actually one of the hardest things for me and my brother growing up. We couldn't do the wall dash jump. That right there. Right there. Like, no, it wasn't that one. Maybe you did need a wall dash jump. I don't know. There was one we thought we had to. This one.
Sounds like apologies.
That one right there. Yeah, so this is the one where you had to wall dash jump on to get across. Like, you can't really get it without it. And so it took us a long time to figure that out on how to just do something so simple as that. Just a little fun tidbit about myself there. Aw, he shot upward instead of downward. But yes, so one thing I actually meant to do was actually play with the thumbstick. So we're going to be showing off the thumbstick mirroring the analog here for this fight. And throughout this entire play session, I've been alternating between the top shoulder button and the bottom shoulder button to do my dashes, just because it's they're mirrored, so we could do that. I started on Mega Man X1. I didn't have X2 for quite a while. We used to rent X1 every weekend, and then they actually had the game on sale at Walmart for $5. And so my mom was so tired of renting us the game every week for $5 that she finally just bought it for us. And so we didn't actually own a physical copy of X2 until well into the N64 days. We had a friend that sold it to us, which was really cool, because for those of you that don't know, X2 and X3 were very late SNES games, so they didn't get as much of a production run as some of the other ones. So that is why they are so expensive compared to X1.
I think I had a similar story with Final Fantasy VI. I just kept renting it, and then my parents were like, you know what, we'll just get it for you.
Yeah, when you rent it so often that you should have just bought it, that's always a good use case. I miss video stores. So Flamestag goes down like a punk. That's why we called Flamestag Sandy. Like when he's dying right here, he kind of looks like Sandy.
Oh, I see it now.
Has X1 gone up in price? I haven't checked that in such a long time, to be honest. Like, I have 2 copies of that game, so it's like I haven't bothered looking into it in quite a while.
And then there's also the Mega Man X collections, which you also own.
I own... I think Mega Man X might be the second most bought game I've ever got. The first of which is Command & Conquer. I've bought in that game 14 times. I own every version of that game that exists. But let's... So we can't do ostriches. That's when you have to go... That's why. So that's why I do Flamestag second, because the first X Hunter appears in Morph Moth stage, who is weak to Flamestag's weapon. But let's go ahead and take out an X Hunter, and then we can move on to a different game of chat's choosing here.
I think someone asked for ActRaiser, although I think that's... I don't know... That's the one that has the overworld, right? And then the...
I believe so. It's not a game I'm too familiar with.
I know ActRaiser 2 was pretty much all platform action.
Oops. I got over-eager with my dash there and missed it completely. Alright. Let's see if we can one-cycle this guy. That's always a fun challenge to try to give yourself.
Is this the... Oh yeah, the little...
The junk robot. Oh man, he just disrespected us right there. Ugly. So you gotta hit him with the... Nope, we didn't get it. He went down really quickly. He normally stays up just a little bit longer, does maybe 1 or 2 or 3 jumps. So that time he only did 1. Fun times. Love the RNG dependence of this game sometimes. And as you beat him up, I just love seeing how like his hands and stuff fall off. Like, it's just such a fun little graphical touch. So yeah, we were 2 shots away from killing him. So getting to this X Hunter is actually quite challenging this early in the game, because you have to get right here past this guy. But normally you'd have like the aerial dash boots, or I guess we do have the chain, but since I do Buster only, that's technically cheating, and we can't do that. So you kind of have to do this aerial dash jump damage on him and get past him. Oops, get off there. We don't want that. So, believe this is agile first, yeah. This guy's easy. He's the easiest one. Like, it's actually pretty crazy how easy he is. Let's get off of that. So, you just kind of have to keep wall jumping. He'll jump up, try to sword you. You just punish him for it. This is the way to cheese him. It's not the fast way of beating him. It's the way to cheese him. And again, if you could get those dash shots in, you're going to really hurt him a lot more. You're making me look like a chump here, Agile. Come on now.
Wants to show off his moves.
He does want to show off his moves. It's true. We got to give him some credit. It's true. Can't let X hog all the limelight here. For anyone else that's unfamiliar with the Mega Man X games, X1 and 2 specifically, Capcom actually hid secret Easter egg moves from Street Fighter into the games. So for X1, you could get the Hadouken, and in X2, you get the Shoryuken. And they are basically overpowered moves that one-hit kill most everything. Like, it's pretty crazy. And just super fun. I'm sad they did away with that tradition for X3 and onward. But they added in their own new little secrets in those games, so I guess it works out.
What would they have even done for X3, you think?
X3? They could have done the spinning kick for keeping the Ryu moveset at least. And then on X4, 5, 6, like they could have introduced moves from a different character. I guess. I don't know.
Just seen X do a hurricane kick.
So yeah, just run into all these guys, just get out of their way. Uh-oh. 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 So if these little guys get on you, they take over your moveset. Like, you can only control directions, but you can't control... Like, you'll just start randomly doing different moves.
Yeah,
so,
this isn't because of his controller.
No. That's, that was the enemy. They're fun. I'm failing at the one cycle on this guy. That's why it's important to do the dash mid shots there. Alright. Alright, got him. And if you notice, the things in the background have actually changed directions now. It's pretty fun.
There you go.
Yup. This is a great place to farm for life and stuff, too, for anyone that is not as experienced with this game. But let's go ahead and beat up a moth real quick. And then let's move on to another game of chat's choosing. What has chat come up with so far?
Did you want to just show off Street Fighter, or...?
Yeah, we can show off Street Fighter. Have that one ready to go. I'm not a very good Street Fighter player. I've only ever done it casually. So, I know how to play as Ryu, that's about it. But we can show off some gameplay there. So another great example of SNES system lag here comes from this part of the fight. This game actually used a different math coprocessor, the CX4 chip, I believe, to help do some of the 3D polygonal stuff that appears in this game. I believe it was a math coprocessor anyway, don't quote me on that. Oh, wow, he just came and gave me a nice hug. I wasn't as appreciative as I should have been. Oh, he gave me the super hug of doom.
Ouch.
Yeah, when he gives you the hugs, he means business there. He really wants you to know how much he loves you. But those are the fun parts of being doing Buster only runs. Like, you get to really experience and experiment with different types of ways to encounter them. Because, I mean, obviously, Mega Man X games are meant to be played in boss order. Like, they want you to use those weakness weapons. So when you don't use them, you get to experience really fun fights. It's funny, even though you don't have to do dash and jump at the same time off walls in X2, I'm so used to playing X1, I do it anyway. Oh, sideways laser this time, let's go.
Got a bad pattern.
He's trying to put me to sleep right here. He wants to really lull me into a false sense of security. Give me all the fun dreams. There we go. And there we go. But yeah, so X2 with the Legacy 16. And again, the controller just handles so beautifully. I'm able to do my challenge runs. I'm able to do my challenge runs without a hitch, just like on the wired controllers. I really noticed no difference between the two, which is just fantastic. Again, when you play this game on like the Switch version, it's a lot harder just because of the latency that comes from that version of the game. It's really, sadly, a poor implementation of that game. Interestingly enough, if you play it on Xbox or PC, well, PC post-patch, it's a lot better off. But unfortunately, the Switch version did not get as kind of a treatment in the control department. But yes, let's go ahead and throw on some Street Fighter so we could show off the different Ryu specials here. That way you can see that different button combos work really well. What's everyone's favorite SNES title? Yours is Donkey Kong? Very cool. I think mine's always going to be Mega Man X, just from pure nostalgia, personally. That and Final Fantasy 2, which is Final Fantasy 4.
Yeah, mine would be Final Fantasy 6 or Chrono Trigger.
Oh, Chrono Trigger. Such a good game. That I've never beaten.
You gotta fix that.
I do gotta fix that. I've gotten to the end so many times and have just never finished it. I guess after... I didn't play that game when it first came out. I actually played that game on an original Xbox through emulation the first time I played it, but I guess I just never want the journey to end on that one. I enjoyed it too much that it just couldn't end.
Well, it doesn't, because it has a New Game Plus mode.
That's true. I did play a crap ton of Chrono Cross, though. I've unlocked, I think, there's 125-ish stars in that game. I think I've gotten up to, like, 118-ish. What are we sitting at here? Yeah, we'll just leave it on medium. Why not? Yep, that's fine. We'll just go with default settings. All right. Super Battle. And we're going with the gray and blue. The ending is rough. Emotionally, it really does feel like an end. Yeah, I can imagine. Like, that whole game is such a trip. So, easy first hits here. Could do all of our combos, no problem. Except for Shoryuken, because I'm terrible at that button input. But it works.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, it's all responding just perfectly, just how you'd expect it to. Need to readjust my position here.
You can also try doing a Zangief Pile Driver.
Oh gosh, what's the input for that one?
I think it's a forward, down, back, up, forward, and then...
Oh my gosh. So yeah, and again, the analog stick does mirror the D-pad for these games, so you could play with that if that is your type of preference. I know that the fighting game community will look down on you if you say that you like to play with the analog stick, but I mean, on occasion, I really do like it. Be curious what this game would look like with Street Fighter 4 style input forgiveness. Oh gosh, so much easier.
Yeah, the Super Turbo scene is pretty nuts.
Oh yeah. I really love watching the FGC community play Street Fighter. Like, I've always had a soft spot for Street Fighter personally. That's what I grew up on. And so watching the competitive scene for Street Fighter is just such a blast. I can never be that good personally, just because I don't dedicate the time they do. But it's just nuts. Like, they're so insane. But I mean, again, every input is responding exactly as I'd expect it to from how I play this game. Like, it just works. And I just take hits to the face like a chump. That works too. All right, so that's what this fight's gonna be. I'm just gonna try to jump at her. She's gonna kick me out of the sky. I'm gonna try to do that. She's gonna punish me for it. And there we go. That's what I said. I am actually a real scrub at this game. That's why you don't see it in more of my videos. I like to show you guys good gameplay when I make videos reviewing these types of things, but it's okay. Like, we can show off that we can do the inputs as expected. Doesn't matter if I'm good at the rest of the aspects of the game. I meant to do an uppercut there. Plays a little more conservatively now here. And I got punished for it. Oh, I stood up a second too soon. That was one of the things about Street Fighter 2. The different changes they had to do to some of these characters throughout the different cart releases and versions of the game over the years. Because Chun-Li was super broken in most of Street Fighter 2.
I recall seeing a video where they were showing how the AI cheats you in these games.
It really can.
They get invincibility frames on stand-up. They get free charge attacks when walking forward.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the era of gaming, though. Most of these arcade game ports still introduced a lot of the cheap shots that were present in the arcade versions to take quarters from people. Like, that's just how game design was. Like, you wanted people to play your game, so you didn't want to make it too easy, otherwise people wouldn't play your game anymore, and, like, you had to make profit off of it. So, I believe it was in the Rare replay when they're talking about Battletoads arcade, and how when you get to the final boss, you actually can't hurt the final boss for, like, 3 or 5 minutes. But they still introduced the damage animation still, just so people would keep playing, making it think like you were doing damage to them, but you really couldn't until 3 or 5 minutes in. And it was just a way to get more quarters out of players.
Quarter game was serious business.
Oh yeah. It's like, that's one aspect of the arcade business I don't miss, was just like how cheap shoddy a lot of them were, but at the same time, like, the social aspects of the arcades is something that I still feel like is greatly missed in today's gaming. So, I mean, you'd go to the Street Fighter 2 cabinet and you'd slap your quarter down and be like, bam, I'm in line, let's go, let's fight this. And Guile's theme goes with everything.
Until you realize they're playing classic Sagat and then you just walk away.
Yeah. But yeah, that's one of the great things about all the documentaries about arcade gaming that have been coming out over the last couple of years. Like, you get to see a lot of this stuff from the mouths of the developers about that. Like, it's like, oh, so this was broken. Like, you did intentionally design this to be broken. It wasn't an accident. Like, this was an actual thing to encourage the monetary side of it. Yeah, which is fun, because I mean, business has got to make money.
One of the things that we were able to kind of, when we were talking to Yuga-san from the Topan collection, he told us that that was one of the main changes when moving from arcade to console, was to, like, not make the game be the quarter guzzler.
Yeah.
But also present a challenge, so it makes people want to come back to it.
Yes, a hard game, but not cheap shoddy. That's always the struggle for me with retro gaming, because I love my retro games. I love the ones I grew up with, even if they were cheap shoddy. But, like, going back and discovering old classics that other people love, you, like, really, if you didn't grow up with them, you see a lot of the cheap shoddiness of it. But a lot of people won't, because they grew up with it, so they're used to it. So it's fun just being able to explore those elements of retro gaming as a content creator. Because, like, a lot of people will absolutely love Donkey Kong Country, but for me, there's a lot of cheap shot moments in that game that kind of make me irritated. So while I still enjoy it, it's not something I go back and play as regularly as Mega Man X, which has its own cheap shot moments that bug a lot of people, but don't bug me just because I grew up with that game. Like, it's fascinating stuff.
Very true.
And it's so easy to kill that car. it's all about learning the games, honestly. Another game that I really enjoy playing that most people absolutely despise and think is one of the worst games ever made is Lion King from Westwood. I just grew up playing that game, so I know how to handle all of its less kind and broken elements, and it's not a hard game for me. Whereas other people think it's like the hardest game of all time. And yet I have trouble with Donkey Kong Country. Like, it's just a fascinating thing, just what people were able to grow up with, learn the secrets of, and if you spend the time with it, you can learn the secrets now, of course. So it's just an interesting aspect, and one of the things I love most about retro gaming. Alright, chat. Do we got another one that we want to see, or should we just keep going with Street Fighter for another minute? Or switch over to the Switch? Alright, I guess we'll beat up Blanca and then we'll move on to Switch. Oh, look at that. He is vampiring me. Dirty.
Yeah, he gets all the hits in.
Yeah, and his grab lasts longer than, I believe, yours can. Like, when the AI does it, it can go on a lot longer than a human player can get it to go. Don't quote me on that one, though. I just feel like I remember reading that somewhere. We're just gonna cheap shot him, though. Like, he cheap shot us, we're gonna cheap shot him back. There we go. Lower leg sweep. Sweep the leg. Alright. Alright, let's go ahead and show off some of the wired Legacy16 gameplay on the Switch, then. So, we've got the Onyx Legacy16 wired already hooked up to the Switch. We'll go ahead and turn this off. Turn that on. And we just need to remove that filter real quick to make that 4x3. There we go. So I hope you all love that I have Paw Patrol on my home screen here. My kids love that game so much. But yes, so Legacy16, great input option for the NES and SNES online libraries here. Oh, Street Fighter Alpha 2 on Super Nintendo is just a miracle port. Like, holy cow, what a feat getting that game to work on the Super Nintendo.
I'm surprised, like, they Alpha 2 came out, but they never bothered with Alpha 1 or 3. Which, I mean, 3 obviously was never going to come to the Super Nintendo.
No, absolutely not. So there we go. There's a demonstration of the rewind function of the SNES online library. That was intentional.
It never happened. What are you talking about?
It never happened. But yes, so works absolutely beautifully for these types of games, this input, and I look forward to using it on other Legacy compilation collections that have come out on the Switch. I'm definitely going to put it through its paces through the Mega Man X Legacy collections, even though those versions have a little more input latency. It's still a good test of controllers in my mind.
Oh, and also if you go to your home screen real quick.
Home screen?
And then you can do controller configuration or whatever.
Is that in the system settings?
Yeah, go to the settings and...
Alright, controllers and sensors.
And then you can show off the that it acts as a Pro controller, so it's completely remappable with the latest firmware.
Alright, so it's saying it can't remap on this one. Is that on the wired or wireless?
Oh, are you using wired? Oh,
I'm using the wired. Yeah, I'm using the wired right now.
Sorry.
It's alright,
Yeah,
we'll show
wired.
that off when we get to the wireless.
Good.
For these controllers to work, you do need to make sure that Pro wired communication is turned on. And there's a fun little hiccup I ran into. I had this option on, but when I got the controllers in, they still didn't work. So I actually had to turn the option off and then back on because the latest Switch system update kind of borked a few things. So if you've had this option on, turn it off, turn it back on, just to be safe on that one. But yeah, so great input option for Switch Online, NES and SNES titles. Like, I've done a couple of runs, well, not 96 exit runs, but just quick Bowser fight runs on this game, and it is so, like, it's what you expect. And it makes it feel just a little bit more authentic to playing it on an actual Super Nintendo, even though it is just software emulation. But the Switch Online's emulator actually isn't too terrible. It's better than the Wii Virtual Console was, or Wii U Virtual Console, rather. Wii Virtual Console was alright.
I thought the one on the 3DS was pretty good.
The 3DS emulator was actually kind of impressive to me. Like, I didn't expect it to work as well as it did. But I'm just happy that they actually implemented a lot of beneficial changes between the Wii U and the Switch, especially on the NES side. The epilepsy filters on the Wii U were, like, really bad. Like, it just made the games, like, super dark and, like, just removed so many effects. Free growth right there. I can agree with that. I'm sad that Nintendo decided to basically stop releasing games for these services after they added Super Nintendo in. Because they were releasing them monthly. And then since Super Nintendo comes in, we've seen, like, what, 2 or 3 editions since of a couple games?
Oh, to the Switch collections?
Yeah, the NES and SNES online collections. They were so good at releasing them monthly. Like, even though they were only adding in, like, 2 or 3 games a month, it was still something versus the nothing we get now.
Hilariously, some of them are games we released ourselves.
That's true. They did add in a couple of Jaleco. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah, or Jaleco, yeah. Joe and Mac as well.
Mm-hmm. Tough Enough.
Tough Enough. Brawl Brothers, I think.
Yeah.
Scat on the NES recently came out. SCAT, however you want to say it.
Yeah. We'll just say scat. Make it easy on everybody. Oh, messed up. Second too slow.
Card type isn't here, isn't it?
No, not yet.
Oh, is that in Japan only, I think?
I think so. That's one of the cool things about Switch, since it's region free. You can sign up for a Japanese Switch account and get access to their library too.
True.
I know so many people that do that. It's like, man, I don't have the time.
That was a quick world one.
That is a very quick world one. That's what happens when you skip the Switch Palace in the first level, technically. Space Megaforce. Is that on Switch or SNES? Alright, and here's time to show off the most broken mechanic of Super Mario World. The feather! Because now all we have to do is coast through every single level. Or you could fall off on a slide like I did. Good stuff. Alright, let's get back up there. But you actually need to use this mechanic to get to this secret without the green Switch Palace activated. Because you have to get up here to get that key. So we just got to fly on up and grab it. So kill those guys. Don't go into the end gate there. And then we could just fly right on up. There we go.
Oh yeah, Space Megaforce. I think that's a Super Nintendo game.
Okay, it's not one I am personally familiar with.
I think it's more known by Super Aleste.
Hmm.
Pretty rare, I thought.
But yeah, let's go beat Bowser. Let's go beat Bowser. We can beat Bowser right now. It won't take very long. Let's go do it. But yeah, the cape is so broken in this game, like, it's crazy. And then your quicker swim speed when you're holding an item. There's so many things about this game that are just so cool.
It's funny too with the Super Mario Maker 2 and stuff, like a lot of the mechanics are like much different in Mario Maker 2.
Yeah.
Just as exploitable as they are in here. Like so many shell jumps, so many juggling with shells in midair just so you can keep bouncing on each other. It's like,
oh my gosh, watching the people do Kaizo levels is absurd to me. Ah, that was a second too slow there. I got nervous. I didn't want to fall on a ghost.
do it. Just slide and crouch in between one of them.
There we go. Just show off the real pro strats. Alright, which ghost house is this? I go through this game 2 to 3 times a year. And I can never remember which exit this one is. The one that you need precision on, or the one you just fly up into? Alright, it's the one I would just fly up into. Good. There we go. And just like that, we are already into a boss fight. It's so funny, since you pick up these blocks to throw at him, I had a glitch happen to me with one of my official Super Nintendo controllers, where it would basically feel like a turbo button on the Y press. So I tried to grab one of these bricks, and it basically grabbed and threw them instantaneously. And so when I grabbed the first one, it just grabbed all 3 and plunged me to my death.
Jeez. It's funny that you mentioned a glitcher, because my sister and I had, growing up, played this a lot. And we had a glitch on that ghost fight where she kicked the block into him, and then as he died, he got big to, his little death animation, and it just got stuck there. But we could still move around and fly and like do stuff, but he was just frozen like that.
Oh, that is so weird. But for anyone that might just be playing these games for the first time, like, there's actually a cool little secret that should be obvious, but people actually didn't really realize. If the level the level is red, like you see here with all the levels in Star Road, it means they had a secret exit. And if they were yellow, it means that they just had one exit, just a normal exit. Why did I grab him? Why did I get him big, actually? I meant to use him to swim faster. I got distracted. It's all good.
Because you were enticed by his cuteness.
We must honor this Yoshi in some fashion. I don't think there's any parts of this type of run where you actually need to sacrifice a Yoshi to go forward, but we'll find a way to honor this Yoshi.
Oh gosh.
Alright, and then we'll swim under all these Rip Van fish. And down we go. But yes, if anyone in chat, again, if you have any questions about the upcoming release of Undercover Cops or the Legacy16s, be sure to ask them. That way we can answer those for you.
Or just questions in general.
Yep. And also be sure to get entered into that giveaway for Undercover Cops and the Legacy16. You could type in !giveaway to get entered into that. Then there we go. Lakitu tried, Lakitu failed. He did not stop this train. Alright, perfect. And again, that giveaway is running for 24 hours from the start of the stream, I believe, to allow European viewers a chance to get in on it as well. This is one of the reasons why Blue Yoshi is so OP. He can suck up any Koopa shell, and you could just fly through everything, which is actually beneficial for this run. I forgot that we have a very hard jump here if we didn't have the ability to fly. So I guess I subconsciously grabbed the blue Yoshi to make my life much easier right here. Because normally you'd have to have the green and red Switch Palace to get to this secret exit. But if you have a blue Yoshi, you can just skip right on through. And that takes us right to Bowser's Lair itself. You just beat this game in 15 minutes. It's so nice. It's funny, when they added the Super Nintendo games to the Switch Online library, I was determined to be the first person to post the end screen on social media. And I think I actually hit that goal with Twitter. I think I was the first person to post the end screen on Twitter.
Damn.
I don't think anyone cared, but, I mean, it was a personal accomplishment that I wanted to do, and I did it, so... 4 and 8, those are the super easy ones for anyone just getting into this game. 4 and 8 are super easy. Just get a bunch of hopping, charging chucks here. And you can always just splatter them like that as well if you want to. It's nice. Ooh! He tried to get me. He wanted to give me a hug.
Oh gosh, the memory underflow glitch. I've seen so many tasks use that to like do really crazy stuff.
Oh, dude. Tool-assisted speedruns are so cool to me. And I love it even more when tool-assisted speedruns lead to actual people being able to do some of those tricks. Like, a lot of the original Super Mario Brothers was thought to be impossible without tool-assisted speedrunning, and they've done it. Like, they've done it without tools. Like, it's absolutely insane to me. But yeah, we should have timed this. I wonder how long this was.
Well, you'll have the video for it.
That's true. I will have a video. There we go. So that is part 1 of 3 on Bowser.
I wonder what Bowser's logic was right there. I'm gonna throw you the slowest and dumbest of my minions to attack you.
I don't know. Like, it's really funny. Because, I mean, that's all he does. Like, he introduces giant cannonballs that are bigger than, like, just as big as his ship, so how is he fitting in there? But then he just throws out the Mecha Koopas. Like, it's really funny. Makes no sense. Bowser defies the laws of physics.
Yeah. If you throw out Magic Koopas, I mean, you'd be boned.
Oh, it's true. Like, can you imagine if he was actually throwing out, like... Or even the yellow ones that spin around on the ground. Like, it would be so incredibly tough. But, like, as it is, the hardest part of this battle is just throwing them up, because when you were a kid growing up, like, looking up and, like, throwing them was actually really hard to figure out how to do. Like, it didn't really comprehend.
And aren't ninjas the only... This is the only level that they're in, right? The last level.
Yeah, pretty much. But I love how his balloon gets all angry at you right here. Ba-bum. Ba-bum. But it's funny, this form of him is actually a lot easier than his second stage because he's really predictable on where he's moving. And unless you mess up the throw like I just did, like, it's easy to just nail him.
I remember when I first got to this stage, the first time I played it, I was like, wait, that's it? That's it?
I know, it's crazy. I don't know. A lot of Bowser fights were slightly disappointing in a way to me. But I will say that the Super Nintendo version of Bowser was, like, absolutely terrifying to me as a kid.
Yeah.
After that, like, after this game, he just became really goofy looking and, like, not really scary. But yeah. And then you can watch the credit scenes and see you walking away with all the Yoshi eggs, even though we only technically got one. So, I don't know. That doesn't make much sense to me. But again, that is the wired version of the Legacy 16. Just a perfect way to experience classic games on the Switch or PC. This is going to be really great for devices like the Mister 2, I believe. And definitely emulation boxes I've tested it with have benefited from a traditional style input.
Yep, and also pretty good on Raspberry Pis.
Mm-hmm. We'll cover that in detail on my channel, that's for sure. Alright. But let's go ahead and switch over. Yeah, it's angry because I connected 2 controllers during the SNES session when we only have 1 controller in use, so it got mad at me. That's fine. So we'll just turn off the wired one for now and switch over to the Onyx wireless. So we showed off the classic gray during the SNES section, so now we're going to show off the Onyx for a little bit. And we're just going to... Oh, let's show off the button remapping as well, since we're on the wireless one. So if you go down to your controllers, you can change the button mappings. So it comes up as a Pro controller, so we can change all of the buttons. So full remapping possibilities if you want to do them. I know there's a lot of people that don't like the way the buttons are inverted on the Switch, so you can actually change those. So anything under the sun for the face buttons. Can you change control stick settings on the Switch yet? You can. There we go. So for me personally, I grew up in the era of N64, so movement was always on the right and looking was on the left. So that's how I still play games to this day, so being able to remap the thumbsticks has always been very important to me. So now that the Switch introduces that, I am going to be enjoying me some Apex Legends on Switch.
Oh no.
Not regularly, but just for fun. But you can change them to anything you want, save it, and there we go. Your button mappings haven't changed. I'm sorry. I'm used to default on this part.
I just want to scold you.
It just wants to scold me. It's all good. But let's show off some Mario Odyssey. Just for a moment. Try playing with the G-Chatch Joy-Cons. No thanks. I'm not a fan of motion controls. I like my normal controls. Even better, I like my normal controls when they look like a Super Nintendo controller.
There you go.
Alright, so I have no idea where I'm actually at in this game because I haven't played it since I beat it. So I guess we're at Peach's castle. And they want me to talk to Toad, so I'm imagining that's what that glowy thing up there is. But yes, we've got full camera movement. We can crouch and crawl. Got R and L buttons working as expected. Jump and throw Cappy. Back jump. Long jump and roll. There we go. All the moves are working. All right.
Not played Odyssey. That's my confession for the day.
I honestly have to confess, I think it's probably the first Mario game I've enjoyed since 64. Like, after Mario 64, I kind of lost interest in Mario games. But this game feels like a crazy updated version of that, so I was able to really enjoy it. I didn't do hardly anything there is to do in this game. Like, I think I only have, I don't remember how to look at your stats. There we go. Is that what it is? Yeah, lists. So I hardly did any of the power moons or captures just because there's so much grinding in this game that I just couldn't do it. So, like, I've hardly done a lot of stuff in this game. I literally did the bare minimum to beat it. It's like, look at how many power moons are in here. Like, there's 100 power moons, like, per stage. Like, there's 900 something total, and it's just like, that's just too much in my mind. Like, great for people who are really interested in it, but just for someone casual, it's like, that's so much.
Didn't they? What was it in Galaxy? Did it Star Bits or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. I know a lot of people really love the Galaxy games. I had a hard time getting into those ones. Forgot to talk to the toad out here, so I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing. Alright, let me talk to you. There we go. Oh, Princess Peach has gone missing. I did talk to him. Memory of a goldfish, what'd I tell y'all? Walked off, can't find her anywhere. Where is she? Alright, so I remember that this level has a lot of, like, classic Mario 64 elements in it, if I recall correctly. But yeah, like, we're able to play the game completely as intended with this controller, which is a ton of fun. Oh. Don't know if I was supposed to capture them for anything or not, but I guess it's funner to slaughter them. Here we go. We'll capture this one. Oops. This was one of the strangest things to me, was just the Tower of Goombas. It's like, you're controlling the top ones. How are you able to control the others? Like, they just don't care that you're some crazy possessed Goomba? Hive Mind would work. But yeah, we just got a big old tower of Goombas, tall as the trees. Here we go. Let's get on this one, make our stack even bigger. Oh, nope. Can't jump that high. Toad does look happy about that awful news. There's got to be some kind of a... There's got to be something going on there. Why is he happy that Peach is missing? We must explore this. So...
She's not around to order him around.
Yeah, it's true. Let's go ahead and move on to a different part of the game, though, since I have absolutely no idea what we're supposed to be doing here. Let's go back to the ship, change areas, just explore a little bit. I love this role. It's so much fun. Mario pretending he's Sonic. That's another thing we could talk about. How does Sonic, like, how does Mario keep up with Sonic in the Olympics? Like, come on now. Makes no sense.
Well, there's got to be parity somehow. They're just... Maybe
It's true.
Sonic had one too many chili dogs before they started running.
That would be a good point. He's just feeling the sluggishness. Like, that's a very valid point. All right. All right. Let's. Is it not gonna let me? There we go. Let us change areas. So, how do we do that? The map? There we go. Alright, how do we leave this area? That's what I mean. I don't even know how to leave the area. It's been so long since I played this game. There we go. Set sail. Alright, let's go, to the Lake Kingdom. Well, why not? No, water levels. Let's not do that. Let's go to the Wooded Kingdom. He definitely has Sonic beat in the high jump, that's true. Unless Sonic can use his spring, then, all bets are off, I suppose.
I don't think people can always decide in Smash Ultimate.
It's true. But yeah, if you enjoy any of the Mario games, you should definitely check this one out. I think you'd probably enjoy it. Outside of the crazy collectathoning. But yeah, we can do the spin attacks here. Like, the thumbsticks allow for that type of movement, like, really well. Like, it's super nice. You've never seen this game. Can we guess if you're a Mario fan? Not at all. Not in the slightest.
I think the last Mario game that I completed 100% all the way through, one of the 3D ones, was Sunshine.
Sunshine. That was a hard one to 100% to me.
It was not easy.
Alright, so yeah, after you beat the game and you come back to different areas, you can unlock all the extra moons. Like, it's so crazy. Like, why did they include so many? It's nuts. It's funny to watch people speedrun this game, though, just because there is so much. Alright. Did anyone have any other requests to see for games on Switch, though? Like, love to showcase some stuff that you're all interested in seeing before we close out the stream here. This was a fun part of the level when you're playing through it on the normal campaign. The transformation feature is so fun. There we go. Got us a nice little power moon there.
There you go. Back on the quest. What's the date gap from your last one?
2017. So about 4 years. And grab one of those. I love these 2D elements in this game. That's one of the things that made it so fun too.
Kind of reminds me of Metroid Prime with the power ball, morph ball.
Yeah. Oops. And it's funny how the coins had different appearances in a lot of different levels, too. Like, there's a lot of cool touches about this game. Alright, so I missed one. Somehow. And I can't get back up, of course. Guess we can, How do I unpossess here? I don't remember. So yeah, we missed one, so we didn't get the moon. Oh well. What is this thing? Slingshot? Oh, I just killed myself. Awesome. So ready for Pokemon Snap. We are a big Pokemon Snap household. We have been eagerly anticipating this game for 20 plus years. But yes, does anyone have any other Switch requests real quick? Because I want to show them if you want to see them. That way you could get kind of a glimpse of how the Legacy16s handle in Switch games. And again, the 2.4 gigahertz connection makes it a very low latency experience, which is just fantastic. Paw Patrol? All right, let's do it. We're gonna load up John's Paw Patrol. Let's do it. Here we go. That is my oldest boy's game that we got him for his birthday last year, and he just absolutely adores it. Alright, where are you? Uh-oh, did I lose his game?
Dun dun dun.
Uh-oh, guys, I might be in trouble. I might have lost his Paw Patrol game. Ruh-roh. Because it should be right there. But it is in an that is an empty slot, so I honestly have no idea where his Paw Patrol game is. Oh dear. I'm in trouble. I'm going to be in big trouble for that one. Okay, you all saw it here first. This is the last moment yet we ever saw me before my boy killed me for losing his game.
It's nice knowing you.
Nice knowing me. All right. Well. Good times. Well, I'm gonna be doing some searching later to try and locate that before they discover that I lost it. But here we go. We'll just Oops, I forgot to close the game. My bad. Dang Switch. Here we go. We'll showcase the Mario Kart Deluxe real quick.
That works.
And then I think we can call it after that. I really enjoy Mario Kart 8. So many people really bag on it, but I've really enjoyed it. Overall, I haven't finished it all the way. I kind of stopped, obviously. But I've always enjoyed playing it in community nights with the stream. I haven't done it in a long time. Now that I got Switch Online again, we might need to resurrect that. My kids have really gotten into this game a lot lately, too, which has been a ton of fun. Let's go with standard. Why not? Alright. Let's go with some classic levels because I am a nostalgia sucker, and this is a retro-style controller on a retro-bit stream, so we are going straight-up classic mode here. Yeah, we'll do that.
Ah, the good old Shell Cup.
Mm-hmm. Shell Cup is fantastic. All right. All right. So, it's funny, when I play Mario Kart, I actually play with the D-pad. Like, it's a little strange, but that's always how I've played it. I blame my introduction with Super Mario Kart for that. So, all the ones that let me play it with a D-pad, I choose to play it with a D-pad. I have to admit, I'm pretty casual with Mario Kart, so don't expect any crazy snaking or nothing like that. There's cows in the road.
This isn't my Moo Moo farm. What the heck?
It's way different than the Moo Moo farm I grew up in. This game's so fun.
I have been unable to get this game physically because it's sold out everywhere near me.
Really?
Yeah, but luckily my little sister has a copy, so I've just been borrowing hers.
That works. Yeah, we're definitely going to need to do a community night on this one again. It's so fun. Got to play SNES Mario Kart Online via X-Band for about 4 to 6 months before it shut down. That is really cool, actually. It's funny, there's things like the X-Band, Sega Channel, and all this stuff that you just never really knew existed back in the day, and then you learn about it as you get older, and it's like, holy cow, the things that they were able to pull off. but at the same time, in the cases of like Sega Channel, and to an extent, Nintendo's online thing, Satellaview, there's games that they released on those that we just don't have access to today, like Mega Man Wily Wars, which is thankfully getting a Retrobit reprint, and then the Zelda game that came out on that as well. That type of service as well, I mean. Whoa, I just screwed up my turn there. Don't mind me.
Those BS Zelda, what's it called? Tablets of the Father? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. I can't recall the full name off the top of my head. But yes, I eagerly await Wily Wars. So we could throw it up in the Genesis up there. Whoop! I did not dash turn. I thought I was too good for it, and I paid the price. Oh man, I am really scrubbing it up right now. I apologize. Alright, serious mode. Gotta stop talking about Mega Man. It's distracting me.
I'll talk about Mega Man. Yeah,
there
we
you
will
go.
have more news. Just keep an eye on our social in the next few months, maybe.
The teases are so good. Oh, that's right. The music box can like break any item that comes at you, right?
I believe so. Does it reflect or does it destroy? I forget.
I think it destroys. There we go. Oh, gotta avoid all these bananas. There we go. Okay, we're not too good for jump turns. Don't think you're too good for them. You will pay the price. Oh, don't screw them up either. You'll eat some oil. Oh, good times. More details soon. Super excited about that. Alright, but I think we will call it there with showing off the Legacy16s and the Undercover Cops production samples. This has been a really fun time. Thank you for being here and sharing that with us and seeing it in action. Make sure to get those pre-orders in at Castlemania Games or Limited Run Games for Undercover Cops if you're interested in that. And then the Legacy16 is also available for pre-order through Castlemania Games. And then if you are in Europe, there are a number of different retailers like Dragon Box, Strictly Limited, that will handle those types of orders. What are some of the other European retailers that I might have forgotten about?
Scan.co.uk, Spellosant, and NetGames. They're in Netherlands.
Okay, cool. And then, of course, we are doing the giveaway. Retrobit's doing the giveaway on Undercover Cops and Legacy16s as part of the stream. So be sure to hit ! giveaway. Get entered into that giveaway in the next 24-ish hours, so that way you have a chance to win one of these for yourself. Again, they are already freaking sick. This isn't even the final versions, and they are so good. Like, I just absolutely love these. And great battery life, too. I've believe 10 to 12 hours of battery life. I haven't had to charge them yet in the last week or so that I've been testing them, so really cool stuff. So looking forward to seeing how everyone else likes them, because I'm a fan.
Well, we're very proud of them, and we can't wait for everyone to try them out. Like, we've been working on these for so long, and it's gonna be great to finally get these out to people and just see and hear all the good stuff that they can get up to.
I remember seeing the model that you guys had of these back at E3 2019. So cool. Cool stuff.
Oh, yeah. Many changes have happened since then, but
for sure.
We're close to the finish line.
But yeah. And again, just the overall stability in the D-pad, the ability to roll it, the low latency transmission, like, this is top-notch stuff. But again, we want to thank everyone for coming out today. This was a really fun experience being able to host the Retrobit stream, showing us stuff off. Thank you for letting me be your host today. Hope you had a good time. I will try to find that Paw Patrol. But make sure that you follow Retrobit over on social media at Retrobit Gaming. Check out Pixel Frames at the Pixel Frames was the social media handle on that one, I believe. And just stay tuned for overall announcements and surprises, hopefully. Wily Ward.
Oh yeah.
But yes, so stay tuned. There will be more. And we will see you all back next time. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Later, everybody.
Goodbye.